broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Sing whoa, Hey, my plea, oh dear.
Good morning and welcome to the morning show for Thursday, 22nd August 2024. We're coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago, and I am Adana Combi. As you might have heard in the background, that song there, for many of you who might know it and who came up in Trinidad and Tobago back in the day, we are in a situation again in Tobago where we are reporting another murder, another gun violence happening in our community across the islands of Tobago. And it is a cause for concern, a serious cause for concern, because as we mentioned on this show on many times, violence affects me, it affects you, it affects all of us. We are all affected and impacted when these things happen on our island of Tobago. And so, we are calling on all the agencies who are responsible for protecting us and ensuring that we live in a space that is peaceful and do their very best, not just to speak about strategies, but to implement and to enforce the law to ensure that we can live in a place that is safe and that is comfortable, that we don't have to go outside and be looking over our shoulders to wonder what is going to happen. Am I going to be, an innocent bystander today? What is going to happen behind my back while I'm walking on the streets? This is a very serious matter, and we do hope that in the very near future, when I say the very near future, I mean the immediate future, that something is going to happen. We're going to get into some conversations this morning, but before we do that, let's head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Thursday, August 22nd, 2024. A shooting incident in Calder Hall area resulted in 5 people being shot. The victims have been identified as Cullen Thomas, Jerome Charles, Omari Roberts, Nicholas Buffel, and Isaiah Charles. Unfortunately, Cullen Thomas died at the scene, marking Tobago's 20th murder for the year. The other 4 individuals were transported to the Scarborough General Hospital. Further updates will be provided as more information becomes available. Police investigations are ongoing. As the 2024 July-August vacation peak season ends, Tobago tourism and the business sector have experienced a significant boost, with bars, restaurant, car rentals, and villas reporting strong sales. Curtis Williams, chairman of Tobago's Chamber of Industry and Commerce, highlighted the positive business trends, including increased foreign currency transactions. However, he also expressed concerns over rising crime. Williams is optimistic about Tobago's October Carnival bringing another boost. And finally, Joint Trade Union Movement President Ansel Roger has called for Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley to resign as head of National Security Council. Roger accused Rowley of failing to address the country's escalating crime crisis. Rogers criticized the government for neglecting its responsibility for citizens' safety instead of deflecting blame onto others like parents and teachers. He dismissed political moves such as replacing Columbus ships with the steel pan on the coat of arms as distraction, while emphasizing that criminals remain undeterred. Roger also highlighted the poor resources for police, worsening crime-related extortion, and the impact of porous borders for influx of illegal arms smuggling. He called for a national discussion and a comprehensive crime-fighting strategy. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Biana, for our news there in 90 seconds. And we're going to stay with crime a little bit.
Yes, Adana.
As I mentioned, we had another situation, as you reported in the news there last night.
Yes.
And coming down to the end of that last story you were talking about the inadequacy of the resources.
Yes, and the porous borders.
And, I was thinking last night when I heard the news of the incident that took place, I'm listening for sirens.
Yes.
I'm listening for noises. I'm listening to see what is happening. And I couldn't hear anything. And you know, a situation like this where it is reported 4 or 5 persons being shot in one incident, and you're thinking that, as the local people will say, the place got torn up, but nothing happened. From where I was sitting, I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear an urgency of what is happening or what was taking place. Maybe something was happening in the background. But how am I supposed to feel as if immediate action is being taken? How am I supposed to feel as if this is an urgent and serious situation, and that I can feel safe that the agencies who are given the responsibility to protect us are working on the matter? I'm not saying that they were not, but from where I wasn't hearing or seeing anything happening. How do we talk about this again? What else can we say?
As we started the show this morning, the song said, how many more? How many more, Adana, right? 20 is too much plenty, yeah? And as the CARICOM neighbors in Grenada, they have chosen, to do a gun amnesty. They did it for the last 3 months, right? Now, yes, they had probably some positives to it, but in terms of their gun violence laws, they have changed it. And I believe our legislation here needs to be changed.
Must be changed.
Yes, in order for that to have an effect on the crime situation in Tobago and Trinidad by extension.
And there must be some radical approach in terms of dealing with crime.
Yes.
I mean, our law restricts us, yes, but we need to rise up and we need to become radical.
Yes.
Because enough is enough. Enough is enough. This is not common to Tobago at all. This is something that we're not used to.
Yes.
And I don't think we should take this sitting down. I don't know what can be done, but we have to become more radical in dealing with issues of crime on the island of Tobago.
I think we could mirror the gun amnesty, yeah, but in terms of the laws, it really needs to be changed. Really, really needs to be changed. Once you're found with a firearm, it should not be a bailable offense, in my opinion.
And I want to agree with you as well. And we have to hope and pray for the very best. And persons who are responsible, or the agencies, the TTPS, all the protective services. Your job is to protect and serve. I know you rely heavily on intel. Persons with information, come forward. Let us make Tobago once again the most beautiful island in the Caribbean region, the most beautiful island in the world.
Yes,
people love coming to Tobago. Let us restore it to that place where even you want to remain residing here.
Yes.
So let us come forward if we have the information, because we don't want it to end on our doorsteps. All right. Thank you, Bianna, so much this morning for the news in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning, of course, where there is death, there is also life. And so we want to celebrate with those who are celebrating their birthdays this morning. And so we head on over to our birthday shoutouts. And this morning and on screen, celebrating a birthday is Roseanne Seeley Scott. Roseanne Seeley, we say happy birthday to you this morning. We want to wish you the very best. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do pray that as you enter this new chapter, that you enjoy your birthday. We say God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. Happy birthday to you. And also we want to say happy birthday to Roxanne Seeley. Can you imagine? Yes, it's a twin. It's their birthday today. Both Roxanne and Roseanne are twins celebrating their birthday today. So Roxanne, we say happy birthday to you as well. And we express the very same sentiments to you. We pray God's blessings upon your life. We do pray that this chapter of your life brings you lots of smiles and that you are able to create beautiful, beautiful memories with loved ones. So happy birthday to both Roseanne and Roxanne Seeley. And rounding up our birthday shout-outs this morning is Dominic O'Neill. Dominic O'Neill is also celebrating a birthday today. And Dominic, we want to say happy birthday to you. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday today. So happy birthday to you as well. And of course, the other persons who are celebrating a birthday, even though we do not have your photos this morning, we want to say happy birthday to you. We also pray God's blessings upon your life, and we want to remind you to give God thanks for life. It is indeed an honor to be alive, to be in the land of the living, and no man can give life unto himself except God gives it to him. So remember to give him thanks for life. All right, so you might be wondering, who are we having conversations this morning in studio with? And we start off our conversations by speaking with Mr. Cleon McPherson. He's the director of RE Promotions, and this morning we're talking about the annual charity drive, the annual charity initiative that is hosted by RE Promotions. We're going to be having conversations where that is concerned, going to be brought up to speed to know what is happening there with them. And then we speak with Junior Kwashi. He's the president of the Castara Fisher Folk. He was here last week, and we're just going to talk about this synopsis of the Castara fisherman that took place there last Sunday. We're going to hear how that wrapped up in the end. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we do hope that you can stay with us while we have these conversations this morning. We're going to bring all the information to you as we have it. And before we go for a short break, of course, we want to say good morning to those of you who are viewing us on our Facebook live stream, on our YouTube channel, or an Amplia 102. Good morning to you wherever you're viewing us from, whether you're viewing right here in Tobago, in Trinidad, the Caribbean region, the United States of America, Canada, England, Australia, the continent of Africa. Good morning wherever you are, and thank you so much for choosing us. Before I go, I want to say a special good morning to some of our loyal viewers. Julia Brown, good morning to you. We see you. Pearl Murray Beard, good morning to you. Sharon Andrews, good morning. Otis Nixon, good morning to all of you who are viewing us this morning. We appreciate you and we thank you for choosing us, for being a part of your morning routine. We have to go for a short break. I am Adana Kambi and we'll be back. But as we go for a break, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information. Attention all talented individuals and groups in Tobago. This is your moment to shine. Showcase your skills in music, dance or drama at Tobago Star Quest. Prelim auditions are held every Sunday across various communities throughout Tobago. Seize the chance to win exciting prizes and demonstrate your talent. For more details, visit our Instagram page at tobago.star.quest or email tobagostarquest@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi, and we begin conversations this morning in studio. We speak with Mr. Cleon McPherson, and he is the director of RE Promotions. This morning we're speaking about an annual charity initiative. Good morning, Mr. McPherson, and welcome.
Nice. be here.
Right. And of course, when we talk about charity, it's always a good thing to be charitable and to provide support for those who can't help themselves, especially in the times that we're in now. We're talking about heading back out to school. And, in as much as some parents might already have some of this stuff, some people still looking for stuff at the last minute, and it can be frustrating. So tell us a little bit about your charity and what it does and the type of people it supports.
All right. So we have been doing it for the past 9 years. We tend to cater for underprivileged students and also special needs children as well. So we try to cater to the more, vulnerable in society. Not only we just give in terms of school supplies and items, but we also do hampers as well for families that are in need. What we have also is a Margaret Hines Assistance Fund. So what we do, persons that would have experienced some hardship, wherever it be fire, domestic violence. So we try to provide for that and also follow up. So it's not like just basically a one-off thing, but we still try to keep in contact with the families and see how they're doing and how they are developing even within these economic times.
Yeah. But how do you do the assessment in terms of how do you determine who are the persons or the...
So we usually collaborate with in terms of with education, student support services that provides a listing for us, and as well we would have point persons as well that would provide information, because you do have persons that may be kind of disingenuous where that is concerned. So we also try to do it kind of streamlined and tight, so we have that in play.
And you spoke about a fund in terms of collaborations or persons sponsoring or donating items. What is that like? Do you have people coming forward and bringing out?
Actually, yeah, we have smaller companies like KK Constructions would have assisted us in terms of with the hampers. Not on a large scale, but because what we try to do within a year, we actually raise funds. So we have events during the year that raise funds to support this. So we will just have a concluded Juve event around the Heritage Festival that has been going on for years. Well, sadly, this is our last year. But we also use that funds to help provide, because we don't like to, you have some organizations like to wait on public government assistance or see what happens and then it falls through. So I always take that proactive approach where we, try to organize for ourselves. I mean, if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, then
And you spoke about follow-up in terms of ensuring, because as you rightfully said, sometimes we host events or we have initiatives and we do it once and that's it. We don't follow up with the families. In terms of follow-up, how have you seen any progression in terms of families that came like in destitute situations and, your support sort of help them out of the situation? Have they progressed? How are they doing? How are they?
I mean, at the end of the day, we have seen progression at the end of the day where students are concerned going through that level, because we cater to not only primary and secondary, but also younger students as well. So we see that development happening. We just only give what we have is a kind of full program. So we have persons, educators that come to talk to the parents, talk to the children. So you have that idea, and especially now where you see in reference with the crime situation, we want to attack that basis where home, to kind of create the minds to try to help and to garner that approach where, a kind of positive outlook within society now as you see how things going.
I know, I was going to ask in terms of community involvement, and you spoke about educators going out and lending that measure of support. Because at the end of the day, you can't really do it by yourself. It really takes, as they used to say back then, it takes a village, not just to raise a child, but to help a situation. If you look at this situation that we're facing now, you wake up this morning and you're hearing what is happening in our communities. And there are so many things you could point your finger at to say, how did we get here? And so an initiative like this, of course, supports persons who are, sometimes you go through things like depression, you go through all kind of things that happen. And just knowing that there's that measure of support kind of, helps the situation. And this is your 9th year. 9th year. Right? And so this initiative is taking place when?
Right. So this initiative is taking place next week, Monday. That's the 26th of August at the Shore Park Complex at 5 p.m. So it would be something of goodness, grandeur. Also, what we do is we actually support various organizations throughout the year. So even where like football is concerned, already know in terms, same thing we're talking about in terms of the crime, some recreation is good for individuals to keep them busy. So we have supported a lot of organizations in the past and even this year where sport is concerned, where football is concerned. And so we still try to keep active within the community. We are an organization just not for entertainment, but also culture and obviously philanthropy, as you can see there.
And for this particular drive on Monday, do you already have candidates for distribution?
Yes,
or
yes, definitely. We have our listing of candidates. So what we usually do, we pre-package the packages. So obviously, let's say someone in primary school, obviously we'll pack according to suit and then the gender and everything. So we already do the pre-packaging before. So when they come, they will collect the items.
Absolutely amazing. And if I can ask, how many persons do you have so far subscribed?
Right.
for?
So every year we usually try to cater for 100 persons. To date, we have assisted more than 1,000 students. We do even organizations like we have assisted before, like School for the Deaf, Happy Haven. So what we try to do, even like with the School for the Deaf, we have assisted where, in terms of printers, we have done spikes, so it's not the first time we are doing this, obviously for the 9th year, but we always try to do a different approach. So example, for when it had COVID, we gave out tablets. So, because at that point in time, how
that was what was needed at that point in time.
So
right.
we always try to cater to society to what is needed at the time and see how best. I know it's just a small drop in the bucket, but at the end of the day, it's something that could assist someone.
And your small drop in the bucket, if you were to speak to other persons, let's say corporate Tobago or persons who are in a position to assist in a meaningful way, how would you encourage them to come forward and support persons? Because there really are people in communities, one, who are suffering in silence. Right. So if you don't go out and do your assessment, if you don't call on education to help you to find these people, they're people that are just sitting there suffering in their silence. How do you encourage somebody who is in a position to assist to go out, find people and give assistance to them?
I think as various organizations, I think it's our social responsibility at the end of the day. Because we're all in this together. And if it's where that you're in a position to help and could help, I think it's best to do, because you never know. You could be, a conglomerate company and you have workers actually working in the company and they have children that would need stuff. So it always interlinks. It always comes back to you some way. So I mean, if it's possible, I know things may be not as favorable now, economy wise, but things may progress. But if it could, it could. If it's just one student, if it's two, it's still an assistance at the end of the day.
And at the end of the day, right, sometimes I like to talk about the emotional aspect of it. What is the feeling like for you and your team after you have distributed 100 packages each year to persons in need? How does it make you feel as a person knowing that you are able to contribute in a meaningful way?
Definitely feels good. Sometimes you realize that really persons are suffering. There was an instance like last year, the mother had to decide if she could come or feed her children. So we actually provided transport for her to come and, provide these things. So there are persons that definitely need, and I think for us as individuals at the end of the day, we definitely have to see where we could, alleviate certain things, because you realize what's going on with the crime situation, and sometimes persons looking at other persons could provide that kind of inspiration or could provide that change at the end of the day. So we could just try.
Absolutely amazing stuff. And I want to wish you the very best as you go forward with this initiative. And I want to call on other persons, other groups, other organizations, who are able and capable to join in. Find out in your own community, find out of somebody who might be in need, somebody who might want something and might be sitting there and suffering in silence. We're a small island, and sometimes pride could get in the way, but you're really desperately in need. So I want to call on the persons on the outside there, whether it's corporate, whether it's government, whomever you are, even if it is somebody on your street, somebody in your neighborhood, lend a hand, ask, check up on somebody, see what is happening with them, and just provide something, even a cup of tea, a breakfast, something can help somebody along the way. And so I want to commend you, Cleon, I want to commend you and your organization for continuously doing this. Even when times are hard, you still find the resources and you have the will to do it. So I want to wish you the very, very best and all the success. And I pray that you get all the collaboration and the contributions that you need to continue growing, bigger and better each year. I'm hoping that sometime when you come back, you can say, well, we're catering for 200 persons now, or even the 100 people that they get more quantities in terms of their hamper. So all the very best to you there with
Thank you
that.
very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Cleon McPherson, He is the director of RE Promotions, and we're talking about the charity initiative, the 9th year. Actually, they've been doing this, and we do hope that they have the very best in success. And of course, that we too can find people in our communities and lend a helping hand, because at the end of the day, you just really want to know that somebody cares, somebody's listening, somebody's looking, somebody's paying attention, and somebody can lend you that measure of support. We have to go for a short break, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue conversations here in studio this morning. And as we go for a break, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Attention members, now is your chance to double or even triple your dividend payment with no increase in your existing loan payment. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to boost your dividends effectively. Whether you're planning a vacation or simply looking to maximize your savings, we've got you covered. Call us today at 639-8226 or 631-1336. Message us on Facebook for more information. Hurry, this offer won't last long. Bethel Credit Union, because we see you at BCU.
Go in, you have to stop it, you have to stop it. Welcome to my kitchen, guys. You have to stop it every night. That's it, that's the intro. Let's do it one more time, right?
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. It's time to refine.
Get ready to celebrate with us in style on the 31st of August at the Magdalena Grande Beach and Golf Resort for our premium all-inclusive Independence Party from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. A premium drinks inclusive event with top DJs, fireworks, and a slumber party for the kids for only 100 TT. Tickets for this premium all-inclusive event is only 400 TT at Island E-Tickets and the resort. For more information, call 660-8500. Mark your calendars now for this premium all-inclusive Independence Party.
Now is the time for it to jam on somebody. Hand up in the air, madness everywhere. It didn't with DNA.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Welcome back to the Morning Show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi. And if you are trying to get your school books in time for school, books and office supplies will be open on the 2 Sundays before school reopens. Yes, that's this Sunday, 25th August, and Sunday, 1st September from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They have got you covered this back to school season. I know that there might be a few last minute things that you need to get. Books and office supplies, they have you covered. So you can check them out this Sunday and next Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. All right, we continue conversations this morning in studio as we speak with Mr. Junior Kwashi. He's the president of the Castara Fisherfolk, and we're talking this morning the roundup of Castara Fisherman Fete that took place there last Sunday. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning to viewers. Good morning to everyone.
Well, I see you sitting here with a big bright smile on your face this morning, so this has to mean that things went well in Castara.
Absolutely, things went so perfect, that at one time, I think that the rain would have stopped, the activity during the day, but the rain just make it better. Right? It was so good. It was real excellent.
Right, I'm happy to hear that. So all the activities that were planned, they were executed well.
Yeah, we get 90% of it all.
Nice. But I know one of the most popular things that happened at the Castara Fisherman was the breakfast.
Yeah.
Because remember that was free. And I've been hearing talks in studio even up to this morning. People were talking about the whole breakfast spread and everything that took place there. So just talk us through, the breakfast layout and the servings.
Okay, as normally we start the morning at breakfast. So we had chocolate tea, we had fried fish, roast baked, fried baked, and we started a little bit late, not very late, about 7:45, right? But it was so welcome. Everybody was there. At one time, I was like, are we here in Castara or are we on the Esplanade giving away things? It was so nice. As I even saw your colleague Candice was there with your breakfast and chocolate tea and smiling and laughing away. Only you was missing and the other folks, couldn't make it. If you could see on the screen, you could see those.
Yes, I'm seeing the patronage there. I'm seeing so many people queuing up
exactly
for breakfast distribution.
We did that annually, every year, right? It's over 40 years now we've been doing it and just giving away.
Is it that the people in the community come together and they provide a breakfast? How do you, because if you're giving this away, how do you get the breakfast together?
Okay, it have people who donate it, like for example, Viewport Supermarket donate some of the items, plus other villagers donate the free items, and we donate the fish. And the labor.
Absolutely amazing. Good stuff there. So tell us about the activities that took place there on the day and, the outcomes.
Yeah, well, we start the morning as normal with the breakfast into the church service. And we start the boat race. The first one was the boat race from Plymouth to Castara, where Mr. Thanos getting some licks, funny. But somebody are weird sometimes, right? And then we have some nice tug-of-war race and some children who win the inshore fishing race. You wouldn't believe it. Some little, look at them on the screen, you see. 9, 11, and 11 that won the inshore fishing race.
So what was the fishing race like? How did it roll out?
Okay, those kids have rod and reel. You stay by the shore and they throw the line in the sea and who catch the first fish, win a prize. Who catch the most fish, win a prize. And those kids mash up that Fine.
Absolutely amazing. And it's wonderful that children can get involved in this as well, and this is what I like about villages and communities like Castara, and those areas where children actually get involved in the way of life. And so I'm really proud of them. So congratulations to you three for winning there. And keep on doing that and keep on getting them involved in what is taking place
quite correct.
Up there.
And we had some, the sponsors was very on board. We had Mercury was on the spot. They spent the day in Castara. Suzuki outboard couldn't have make it. NLCB couldn't have make it likewise. The area representative had a race for him likewise. If you look at the screen, you'll see that. I could have this race called the FAD race, right?
You call it the what?
The FAD.
Right.
So 2 persons, it starts with 6 persons. Right? 6 persons stay here and 5 objects up on the other end. Like musical chair, but you have to run this one. Right? And if you see what you see, the guy running the gas stick, everybody had a gas stick. So once the gas stick goes down right onto 2 persons.
Right.
And the last 2 persons, if you look at that pad, you go see, yeah, a trick in it. We bring the object right close to the person and they run past it.
So
it was good, everybody enjoyed themselves, and there were no fight, no war, no fight. Everybody was lovely. It was great. I really want to thank the people of Tobago who supported us. Trinidad, both from Trinidad were there likewise. I'm saying thanks to everybody. The police passed through, line with us, talked with us. They get breakfast, who were there on time. And Castara was marvelous.
And I'm hearing the excitement, and the pride in your voice, and your whole demeanor this morning is very much like we had a successful fisherman, and I'm happy that happened. And you're talking now about the police passing by, and that is of course something that we have to talk about as well. So it seems as if everything was safe. You felt safe.
Yes, everything was safe. We had a good thing with the police, as I said before. Police have to do their part. You have to do their part. You have to combine. We have to combine to get this thing work, because things not too good right now. We're waiting shipping to Tobago.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And so, as we mentioned, we have to have that collaboration, as you said, ensuring that, because you don't want to have an event and you're not sure what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Right? So you want to kind of set a precedent. And I like what Castara did in terms of, we're going to have the event, but we're not going to have the fete. And this is taking a proactive approach. Right? So commendations to you where that is concerned, of course. And, we want to wish you all the best as you continue to roll out programs and initiatives and all the activities that happen up there in Castara, because Castara is one of those places where even us locals go to get away from, the hustle and the bustle and the everyday life. And so we want to preserve that part of Tobago, especially if we can.
Yes, and I want to say thanks to the Mora Police. To be honest, they were on board. We always had conversation, right? And they did a wonderful job, come through, and everybody were happy. You were happy. You missed something, I tell you. You missed something, because that was wonderful. It had a tug-of-war game with the Zesters against the Period men. Since we talking here, nobody can pull on nobody.
Really?
I think it was real nice. Castara was beautiful, and I wish that other village could take pattern. And, sometimes we just want the big thing, but sometimes get the big thing and start small.
And, I want to ask you, right? You said you're wishing that other villages could take pattern. What do you think makes Castara stand out in terms of, hosting activities, remaining as beautiful and tranquil as it is? What do you think are some of the elements or some of the things that you all have employed up there to make you who you are as Castara?
Castara, take control of Castara, right? And we the villagers, we the villagers of Castara, we look out for Castarians, we look out for Tobago, we look out for the whole entire world. And we always said if we protect what we have, everything will smoothly afterwards. So if we see something, we will see something. We look out for Castara. And that's like that.
That's absolutely amazing. And that's what we've been calling for on the entire island, throughout all the communities. If sometimes people migrate to different communities, and growing up where I grew up, there are people who I know. And now if I go back there, I don't know these people. They're the majority of the people, they migrated to that place. Okay. And so, of course, when people come into the communities, you have to either get to know them or ask a question, because you want to ensure the integrity of the place remains. And I suppose that's what you guys do.
Yeah, we communicate. If you see a stranger coming, we say, okay, who this person? And we communicate. And once you communicate, you will get action done. And Castara, always, as I said before, Castara built Castara, so we have to protect Castara.
And so what is next for the Castara, not just the fisherman folk, but, the community of Castara in terms of activities, or what can persons look forward to coming out of Castara in the near future?
Well, we have to plan. First, we have to sit down and do a post-mortem of what happened Sunday gone. And we are looking forward to something very soon. We are going to sit down and talk to the heads of the village, like, for example, the bar owners, the sports leaders of the sports clubs, and different people, hotelers, everybody. And we'll come here soon again. So soon you will see Castara again on the map again, Castara on the TV again going forward.
Absolutely amazing stuff. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We're speaking with Mr. Junior Kwashi, president of the Castara Fisher Folk, as we speak about the fisherman experience that took place there last Sunday. Beaming with pride, of course, with all that rolled out there, how everything turned out in terms of the activities and the fact that everything was done in good safety and good fun. So congratulations, of course, to the Castara Fisher Folk Association there in Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue in our studio this morning. And as we go for a break, we want you to remain safe. Before we go, I want to say this to you. We are living in a small space in Tobago, 116 square miles. Just about 60,000 of us reside here. And I want us to do as Castara does. Let us look out for each other. If you see something, say something. If you know something, report it. There are many means and channels that you can use to report incidents anonymously. Let us keep our communities, community by community, from Charlottesville all the way to Crown Point and all on the northern side. Let us keep our communities. Let us take responsibility for the spaces where we live, where we reside. If you see something unusual, if you know something unusual, if you've heard something unusual, if you have a funny feeling, say something, have a conversation with someone so that we can ensure that the spaces we live remain safe for us and for our families, for our loved ones. And that, because remember, crime doesn't just affect lives, it affects livelihoods as well. So we want to consider all of these things where we reside. Take responsibility for your space, take responsibility for your community, look out for each other, and just, try to be as the best upstanding citizen that you can be, and look out for each other. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue in our studio this morning. And as we go, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
I can't live without you, I can't be without you for too long. Cause when I'm around you, I feel like the heavens is coming down. I feel it in my soul every time we on the road is a miracle. A million strong come together.
I'ma play some tune like this.
Don't worry, my wife will fuck it up. Make me happy whenever you fuck it. So me do you very hard. Fiesta, fun.
This one is for the people and them who don't care what nobody else have to say about them.
Them none of cash. What you have, what you know about.
It's too early for that.
Too early, good on.
They do but then enough 99. Girl, go the club, girl right. Nice.
Who's the one friend can drink all the alcohol no matter what?
Put a bottle and spoon and a cup in my hand and I'm winding up on me man.
Dream.
Oh yeah! I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Embark on an adventure to the greatest little island on the planet. Tobago invites you to ritual, revelry, and release.
Whining in the Bago sun, having Bago fun, and Bago drinking rum. We go jump up and carry on.
From October 25th to the 27th, 2024, experience the energetic vibe, the vibe colors, and the unforgettable spirit of the Tobago Carnival.
Down here in Tobago, in Tobago.
Whether you're tripping down the road or marveling at the beauty and creativity of our artisans, Tobago Carnival is an adventure.
I said I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait for Carnival to come. So I call all my friends, making my plans for the Tobago Carnival fun.
Join us for ritual, revelry, and release. Tobago Carnival 2024, where every moment is memorable.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. It's time to refine.
Get ready to celebrate with us in style on the 31st of August at the Magdalena Grande Beach and Golf Resort for our premium all-inclusive Independence Party from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. A premium drinks inclusive event with top DJs, fireworks, and a slumber party for the kids for only 100 TT. Tickets for this premium all-inclusive event is only 400 TT at Island E-Tickets and the resort. For more information, call 660-8500. Mark your calendars now for this premium all-inclusive Independence Party.
Now is the time for it to jam on somebody. Hand up in the air, madness everywhere. It is with DNA.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Coconuts. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Combi, and we're just about 7:43 a.m. So if you're getting to work for 8 a.m., you have just about 17 minutes to get there. Remember to drive safely, get yourself to work safely, and consider all those who are also using the roadways. All right, back to school. For those of you who are trying to get your back to school stuff, last minute shopping, yes, books and office supplies are available to you. They will be open the 2 Sundays before school reopens. That is this Sunday, Sunday 25th August, and Sunday 1st September from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So in the event that you're still looking for your school books or school supplies, they will be open for you. You can contact them on 750-0269. Yes, contact them there to ensure that you can get your school books and supplies this back to school period. The last 2 Sundays, Sunday 25th August and September 1st, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to open the phone lines for you this morning. We're speaking, of course, of the situation of crime on the island of Tobago. As we are aware, there was another gun violent crime taking place yesterday evening. And so we opening the phone lines. You're free to phone in. It's 284-6597. That number again, 284-6597. You can call in. You can even send WhatsApp as well. Let us know, what you're thinking, what you feel. We're going to have the conversation this morning here in studio this morning. Also, feel free to leave your comments on our Facebook live stream, and we can address them as we go through the rest of the show this morning. So you are, welcome to phone in this morning. Again, that number is 284-6597. The phone lines will be opened. The phone lines are actually open right now. So you are feel free to phone in and let's have the conversation this morning. As we mentioned, another gun-related incident taking place there yesterday. And reports are either 4 or 5 persons were shot with 1 fatality. And we are living now in a space where we really have to be careful. We feel, I think I mentioned one time on this very show that I was outdoors at, one of the food trucks, those establishments and the, street vendors. And very, very cautious because you just don't know what can happen. And we don't want to be in a situation where we are innocent bystanders. That's something that took place, just in the Argyle area a couple of weeks ago where someone was an innocent bystander and, got in the line of crossfire. And so we don't want that to happen in our communities. We don't want the escalation. And so we're having the conversation this morning. You're free to come in. You're free to call. Join the conversation this morning. Air your views, whether it's on our Facebook live stream, whether it is via WhatsApp or via the phone lines. Feel free to call and leave your comments, leave your remarks, or just express how you feel or what you think about the situation. But the thing is very serious, and we want to see a measure of change. I know the agencies who are responsible for protecting us, protecting our borders. We've had conversations with them right here in the studio, and they have assured us that there are strategies, that they have been sitting and having the conversations, and that they have been implementing their strategies. They have spoken about their intel, and that they are putting things in place to ensure that we are safe. What we are looking for now is the actual implementation and the action that should take place. Even before, we want a proactive approach, rather than a reactive one. And, we're sitting here as citizens, as members of the population, and we are hoping for that measure of change. And I want to encourage those of you who might know something. You might be afraid. You might be thinking maybe they might know that I brought some information forward, but there are so many different ways that you can bring information to light, anonymously. 800 tips. There's so many different hotlines. You can even call the police station anonymously to give information as well. Because at the end of the day, what we really want is to live in peaceably. We want to live in an environment that is peaceful. We want to ensure tranquility. We want to ensure that we are safe. Our families are safe. Our homes are safe. Everything that concerns us, our properties, we are all safe, and we can feel free to walk the streets without having to wonder what is going to happen to us. It's not a nice feeling just thinking, let's say, for instance, you are recreational field and something happens there, or you're taking a jog, something happens there, like I was by the food truck. You don't want to live in a place where you're living in under panic. Right, and it feels as if it's a threat to our peace, and we don't want that to happen. So you are encouraged to come forward and bring whatever information you might have. Remember, the phone lines are open, so you can call us. Give us a call this morning so we can hear your views as well. We want you to be a part of the conversation. We want to hear what you have to say, how you feel, and what you think about what is happening. The phone numbers to call is 284-6597. The phone lines are open, so we're hoping to hear from you soon. We're going to go for a short break, and when we come back, we do hope to have conversations. In the meantime, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books, and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. up to 20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information. Attention all talented individuals and groups in Tobago. This is your moment to shine. Showcase your skills in music, dance or drama at Tobago Star Quest. Prelim auditions are held every Sunday across various communities throughout Tobago. Seize the chance to win exciting prizes and demonstrate your talent. For more details, visit our Instagram page at tobago.star.quest or email tobagostarquest@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi. We have on the line Senior Superintendent Rodil Kirk this morning as we address the situation of crime on the island of Tobago, particularly the recent incident that took place yesterday evening. Good morning, Mr. Kirk, and welcome.
Hi, good morning, Adana, and thanks for having me this morning.
Right, so here we are again. Reports of another incident taking place there yesterday evening. And of course, we have had conversations. We spoke about strategies. We spoke about all the agencies who are working together. But here we are again, another situation, gun violence, and one fatality reported so far. Let's talk about it.
Yes, good morning again. And first and foremost, I would like to extend my deepest and sincerest condolences to the family of Colonel Thomas. He was the person who was fatally shot last night. Again, this is something that we have seen emerging in Tobago, and we recognize that it's directly linked to gang activities, notwithstanding that the deceased may not have been involved in any gang activities. However, we recognize that the level of association among the youths, yes, we grew up with people on the street, etc. But that area is an area where young people normally gather because, it is known, it is public information that there is a block in that area. I don't know the activity at the point in time, whether he was lining on the block or he was passing, but the information is that the youths were gathered when a car passed by, men are lighted and fired. And we recognize, if you look at the pattern, it is the same throughout. It seems like individuals are directly targeted and are sought. And it's a rivalry. So what I am doing is the community have to play their role in this thing and not leave it entirely up to the police. Because whilst we were out, and people will tell you that the response was quick. The vehicle used in that incident was also recovered within a short space of time. But again, persons have to be vigilant in the area. You have to also police your own space, because we know what is happening. We have resources on the ground. We have resources moving about. And the thing about it, again, the police cannot be everywhere at every time. So we highly depend upon members of the community to partner, to play a role in terms of when you see something, say something, and it will shorten the time that we respond, because we will have some sort of surveillance in respect of what is happening. And this is the problem in Tobago, notwithstanding that other serious crimes are not of significant proportion. The shooting and wounding is what troubles us. Because as you realize, when these persons pull up and shoot, they don't care. They may be targeting one person, and innocent persons who are wrong would also, be affected. And this is something that, because, okay, recognize also that there are nearby vehicles that were hit. So that is why it's so concerning to me. Now, it may seem like the police is not doing anything, but I want to rest assured, tell the police are doing a lot. But again, we realize that we can't even pinpoint where a hotspot is in Tobago now, because anywhere you see these little blocks that these young fellas move to, that is the intended target. And notwithstanding that the police are always out there.
And that's the thing, Senior Soup. You're saying that the police is working, and people might be thinking the police isn't doing anything. And the court of public opinion will say that, because remember, what we will go on, we don't have the intel that you have. The public doesn't have the intel that you have. The public doesn't know what is happening. And while I know you have to keep some things, off the record, because, obviously you don't want the criminals to know where you are attacking from. The public wants to see action. And the public is saying that everything is reactive rather than proactive. So this incident took place. And of course, obviously there might be some type of reprisal. What is happening there? That is what we're looking forward to know. What is happening there? And is that going to be, is the intel coming in? Are strategies being put in place? Because at the end of the day, it really is something is happening and then we're reacting. So we want to know that there is something happening in the background that is going to attack this situation before it happens.
Well, again, what I'm telling you, yes, we have intelligence. Yes, we have information. But again, I want to beg to differ that we are reactive. We have put a lot of proactive measures in place. We have increased our visibility. We have been, based on the data that we have been using it in terms of deploying our patrol strategically. But again, as you see, when we focus on some areas, these incidents are migrating to other areas. And this is something that is why we have been getting some cooperation from members of the public, but we need more. Do you think,
Mr. Kerr, I don't need to cut you off, but do you think that the legislation needs to be changed so that we can have a more radical approach to dealing with this crime situation?
Well, I don't know, because laws are one thing. Because what we will have, even so we have laws. Laws only apply when the person go contrary to what it is. But we can't tell somebody not to break the law. You understand what I'm saying? But I think that I don't want to go on that thread on that aspect. My responsibility is to try to make every space safe. My responsibility is to prevent and to detect. Right? We have put preventative measures in place. We are dealing with our capacity in terms of our detection. But the thing is, as I'm saying, we also have a lot of challenges, which I would not mention here. We have challenges, but notwithstanding that, a lot could be done with cooperation of all stakeholders. And we keep coming on the air and we keep saying that people have to be mindful about what is happening around you. Because what is happening is not something that will just come overnight and happen. It is there in our face, staring us in our face. When we, the police, sometimes go and take action, you will have all the negative response. No matter what you try, you will see all the negative response from persons within the same community. And when it does happen, the police ain't doing nothing, and the police ain't doing nothing, and the place too small, and this and that and that. The place too small. And that is what people are saying. But what solutions are people recommended or suggesting in their own space when they see the activities taking place right outside the home?
Some people report that they're living in fear. The activities might be taking place right outside their home, but they're living in fear. And so I really, some sort of confidence has to be...
You can't allow it to reach on your doorstep, so even self, you're living in fear. And the thing about it, take for example, when these incidents happen, the amount of persons you will see come and gather around and want to walk through and want to do this and want to do that, you will be surprised about the same people who say they're living in fear. Now, yes, it's a reality, the fear of crime, but I'm saying there are so much mechanism in which that information could be passed on when these things are happening. So much mechanism that we come out here and we educate and edify people about, and they are still not utilizing it. Again, who would you trust? If you are saying you can't trust nobody in the police, who would you trust? And that is something that we have to work on in the Tobago space, because we would not like this. We have never seen this. And as we are the one have to fix it. You can't leave it up to me, Mr. Kirk, alone, or the police in the Tobago space alone. All of us in the Tobago space should police our space. And that is all I'm saying, that we need to adopt a different mindset and stop tolerating criminal activities around you. That is all I'm saying.
Mr. Kirk, we are happy that you came on this morning to address this situation. And what we want to see is the action. I know you is a lot of work. As you mentioned, the TTPS cannot do it alone. And I'm hoping that all the agencies who are responsible are collaborating. And I do hope that communities are coming forward with the information. What we want to see is feet on the ground, and we want to see action. Radical action taking place, because Tobago, as you said, is too small. Yes, it's too small. And we really want to get to the root of this and eradicate. Being a part of a gang is an illegal practice, and so do the thing and get rid of them, and do what needs to be done at the level of the TTPS and all the agencies who are responsible for protecting and serving the island of Tobago and Trinidad and Tobago by extension. In closing, is there anything you'd like to share with us before we go?
One comment. I like the suggestion that you spoke about radical action, but I do hope when the police is out there doing what they are empowered to do, I hope that I don't get the pushback from the same people who are calling for radical action when they are inconvenienced. Because often there is always say, the police doing this, well, they ain't going to look for this. We have to start with the small thing, and we will be doing that. We have been doing it, notwithstanding that you feel that nothing is happening. But again, all these people are using, and again, you will see that they are using the motor vehicles to get from point A to point B. Again, you will see that. And when the police and all the other law enforcement agencies come to do all that they need to do, you see you see the negative comments that you are getting. As a matter of fact, even on social media platform, when I spoke the last time on your program, threats were even leveled against me by saying what we are about to do and why we are doing it. So again, I'm saying, I hope the persons or the people within the Tobago space, understand when we actually go out there and we start to adopt that zero tolerance approach to everything. I'm just urging the people, if it is that you want that level of activity, you must be willing to sacrifice and the inconvenience that may come upon you. So that is my take. And again, I want to thank the Tobago public. I want you to urge you to continue to support us in the fight against this crime. We are all living in this space, and we must protect our space. So thank you for having me this morning.
All right, thank you. The Senior Superintendent, Rodil Kirk, bringing his updates as to the crime situation here on the island of Tobago and the most recent incident taking place there last night. This is where we have to end the morning show today, but we don't end our programming. We continue on with GMT, so we ask that you stay with us. And as you stay with us, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. Stay safe.
The title Creative Calabash is TPAC's Children and Youth Programming Arm, where we use arts and performance to create opportunities for outreach, for competency and capacity building, as well as space just to teach children about all things, not just performing arts, but things cultural, things heritage, things legacy. So this year is our second iteration of Creative Calabash, and it is a 2-week vacation camp. And the theme for this year is Arts Plode, which is Arts and Explosion, because we're specifically exploring arts of the imagination and play, traditional play and contemporary play, as entries into teaching the discipline.
It's been going very good, and we are having a showcase at the end of camp, and we are now rehearsing, and it has been very good.
What would you say has been your favorite part so far?
Everything.
Dance, film?
We don't do film, and I'm very sad about that because I wanted to try out a camera, but it does happen.
We have just about 60 children, and ranging from ages 4 to 17. And in the camp, the children are divided across 4 age ranges, so they're basically grouped in accordance with the age range: 4 to 7, 8 to 10, 11 to 13, and 14 plus. And I mean, I say this without fear of contradiction. One of the advantages of Creative Calabash is that children get to experience the widest variety of performing arts under one roof.
Our age group has dance, and we have creative free play, where we have to be creative, and we have to express our emotions. The visit to the dirt oven made me know more about how our history is and how they make these delicious foods to each other.
Second year going to the camp, and I feel like I learned more than last year, which is fun. I love to learn about performing arts. I started to learn about the traditional dances here in Tobago. I've never danced the Coco before, and I started to learn it a couple of weeks now, which is good because as a Trinidadian, I came here to live a couple of years back and I didn't learn anything. And now that I'm starting to learn it properly, I'm very happy about that.
What about if you all have on just the... We are so deeply invested in creating opportunities where children get to know not just about the space or the island's cultural prowess, but also about themselves. And so the ethos of the camp is also about social development, because we want to deal with things like social values, sharing, fair play. How do I become a good citizen? How do I contribute meaningfully? How, as a Tobagonian child, how do I show up in space? How can I share my voice to help others? So that has been our focus. It has been a beautiful 2 weeks. The TPAC team works so very hard. The aunties and the uncles, 100% credit to them. They are the people who really carry the camp on their backs.
Excellent. The children love to play. I love to play. We all love to play. And they are very eager to learn about Tobago, and they're very eager to learn about all the cultural things that could happen here.
Camp has been going amazing. It has been the best experience. Last year I didn't get to come, and I'm so glad I got to come this year because it has been an amazing experience. We play a bunch of games, and they teach us our heritage through these games, so it make it fun for the little children, and it also make it fun for me. The greatest part have been film and dance. I never knew I was into film until I tried it, and we now came from making a documentary, but we making it kind of in a funny way. We made it funny, and it was really nice to go through that experience. I never knew I could actually learn my lines and actually deliver it in front of a camera and not have stage fright and not be scared, and it was actually really fun. This camp has opened up my experiences and made me do things that I never knew I could have done.
I am really enjoying myself. This whole experience has been new to me. I am now learning more about Tobago's culture, and I'm a dancer, so I love to know more about my heritage and where I came from, so that when I get older I can teach my kids about our heritage.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Yeah,
Hey. Tobago updates. Na, 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 na. Good morning, Tobago. Na, 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 na. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. A shooting incident in Cutler Hall area resulted in 5 people being shot. The victims have been identified as Cullen Thomas, Jerome Charles, Omari Roberts, Nicholas Bovell, and Isaiah Charles. Unfortunately, Cullen Thomas died at the scene, making Tobago's 20th murder for the year. The other 4 individuals were transported to the Scarborough General Hospital, and further updates will be provided as more information becomes available. Police are investigating. Additionally, as the 2024 July-August vacation peak season ends, Tobago tourism and business sector have experienced a significant boost, with bars, restaurant, car rentals, and villas reporting strong sales. Curtis Williams, chairman of the Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, highlighted the positive business trends, including increased foreign currency transactions. However, he also expressed concerns over rising crime. Williams is optimistic about Tobago's October Carnival bringing another boost. And finally, Joint Trade Union Movement President Ansel Roger has called for Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley to resign as head of the National Security Council. Roger accused Rowley of failing to address the country's escalating crime crisis. Roger criticized the government for neglecting its responsibility for citizen security, instead deflecting blame onto others like parents and teachers. He dismissed political moves such as replacing Columbus's ship with the steel pan on the coat of arms as distractions, while emphasizing that criminals remain undeterred. Roger also highlighted the poor resources for police, worsened crime-related extortion, and the impact of porous borders for the influx of illegal firearms smuggling. He called for national discussions and a comprehensive crime-fighting strategy. And that was our news in 90 seconds. This morning, we have the ability to continue our conversation, but we're talking about what's happening at the level of our seniors. This morning, I have the privilege of speaking with the chairman of the TTARP, which is the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Retired Persons, Mr. Shelby Cole. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Tobago.
Good morning, ma'am.
It's a pleasure to have you. So we're talking about what's happening with the seniors. You guys have a number of activities that's buzzing and that's happening. You have a very vibrant presence here in Trinidad and Tobago as the association that's responsible for retirees. Mm-hmm. So this morning you are here to tell us all about what's going on at that level. Talk to us.
Well, thank you very much for having me. You did mention that you noticed that in Trinidad, and you are very up to date, today there is a health fair by our organization, because it is TNT, is Trinidad and Tobago. And yes, the Trinidad arm, and all these sections in Trinidad, and if anybody is going down from Tobago, with the transport situation, if possible, yes, so we would, it's a health fair. And it's a lot of giveaways and so on and so forth, but obviously, because we know the situation in Tobago, we would want to have something of that nature also, perhaps early next year, so that we could have that opportunity and maybe some of them could come across and so on and so forth. But it's, right, so that's one of the things, and because we try to occupy our members in various ways, and as you can see on the byline there, in Tobago, our particular section, we have two sections in Tobago, one in Pembroke, and we are in the western part of Tobago. We are having a variety concert. And that variety concert, it's about our 9th. And we started years ago at Annette Alfred's premises in her folk theatre in
Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant. Then eventually, because of the audience, we needed to get somewhere bigger. And the library has been kind enough to allow us to have their premises in about the 3rd year. And yes, so we feature mainly our own talent because we have, again, retired doesn't mean that you are sitting down at home and doing nothing. We encourage our members to come out into the sunshine, go on outings, get out of the house, just be careful wherever they go and how they do whatever they do. So yes, most of the drama and singing and so on will be our own members. We have a choir, formed choir. We'll do some folk songs, a folk song medley and some calypsos. We do have some talented prose people and so on. And yes, we do have Lynette Louie as one of our guest artists. She is quite well known in Tobago as a vocalist, doing jazz and so on. And she has worked with the Carirac band and combo and so on and so forth. So yes.
Right. And so the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Retired Persons, for those who don't know, it's an association that caters to persons that are retired, but not necessarily. If you are almost going to retire, you can also join. I see that you have age of 50, from 50. As long as you have meet the 50 mark, you can join. And so a lot of persons who are retired or who are on the verge of retirement worry about their social life. You know, worry about still being active and still maintaining relationships and stuff like that. So at the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Retired Persons, you have created a community of persons who are about to retire or have recently retired, have retired for a while, but are still very social, very active. I see that even on your website, you have had a number of parties and events for older folks that really keep them active and keep their brain, you know, still ticking. Tell us about a number of other activities that you have facilitated here in Tobago to ensure that you can really engage that audience.
Well, partly because of the inset of COVID, we started a WhatsApp group, and this is one of our main communication methods now, because we have about 220 people in our WhatsApp group. There are other members who prefer not to be on the group, but we communicate with them otherwise. We do also have a Facebook page. We have our own email address in Tobago and so on. Activities, we went to Trinidad some months ago at the Valencia Eco Resort, and members took the time also to visit 2 malls very close to the airport, because they traveled by plane to go and by plane to come back. And they even found a restaurant there that specializes in Tobago food.
Okay.
Right? So, but yes, we try to bring out our members every now and then. Valentine's Day, we big up ourselves, because to love others, you need to love yourself first, and so on and so forth. We had something planned with our Pembroke group, but eventually that was stalled because they did not get to be on the heritage program. And we had sort of tied it in that we would go down when they were having their heritage performance. But yes, and at Christmas, we normally have a Christmas function. Most likely this year, it might be a kind of cocktail setting. And plus, we have had some challenges with some of our restaurants, and we believe we want to be in-house on this occasion and bring in food from our recognized caterer and so on and so forth.
Okay. And so the reason why you are really here this morning is because of that big concert that you guys are having. And is that one going to be facilitated at the Scarborough Library as well?
Yes, that is the one that is at the Scarborough Library.
Okay.
And on the 24th, which is 2 days from now, actually. And there are still some tickets left.
How much are the tickets?
It's $120, and children would be at half price.
Okay.
Well, children for our purposes would count as about 12 years old.
All right. And what time does the concert
This starts at
begin?
6. This starts at 6. Even those who may not come out after that time or don't drive, perhaps their son or daughter might, be able to bring them and so on and so forth. And let me just mention one thing. When I was driving here this morning, and I reached the highway by the lowlands, an elderly lady, and I am elderly too, was crossing the road, and I was next to, so I put up my hand to stop and so on and so forth. This great place by this wide by Viola's place and the Cards restaurant, Cards grocery. Okay, so she did get across, and there was a car right behind me. But what occurred to me is, well, his or her lack of respect. Because as soon as he only stopped because I stopped, and immediately after that, he was able to. He passed me and he went on his way, and that taught me a lesson about respect for the elderly. And I just want to remind people it's very important, because one day all of us will get older. In fact, every day we get older.
Right.
And it's good, and for children to remember their parents and that sort of thing. So in between, we teach all these things. We have the money programs, the credit card, the this, the that, the goods and the bads, about all these things. So we try to do a all over function. September is the month of Alzheimer's.
Right.
We normally remind people about the dangers and the possible preventions and so on and so forth. So yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, we look forward to a successful variety concert on the 24th,
Saturday,
which is this Saturday at the Scarborough Library, starting from 6 p.m. If you are a retiree or know a retiree or have a retiree in your household, this might be a great opportunity for you to get them a ticket and get them out of the house and get them engaged. So we want to thank you so much, Mr. Cole. Is there anything else you want to assure us of?
We hope to be able to send some snaps for you, and maybe we might be able to get something onto YouTube ourselves and so on. And as you yourself know, the organization has a website, which is www.tap.co.com, and we have a Facebook page too, Tap Tobago. And basically, surprisingly, some of our members didn't come to us in Tobago. They came through because of the online system, and then when their names are sent to us, then we introduce ourselves to them.
Okay.
Because of, I suppose, what they call technology now. This is one of but we aim and trying to get in touch with all our members over here.
All right. So you can go ahead and check them out on their website at www.ttarp.org. And you can join and become a member for a very low admission fee of only $10, as well as your annual subscription fee. So that's it. We are looking forward to you having this concert on Saturday. Again, the venue is the Scarborough Library at 6 p.m. Adults are $120 and children are half price off. Thank you so much. We'll take a break right here, and we're going to be back right after this. See you soon, guys.
Thank you, ma'am.
Passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000
I'ma play some tune like this.
Don't worry, my wife will fuck it up. Make me happy whenever you fuck it. So me be very hard. fiesta.
This one is for the people and them who don't care what nobody else have to say about them.
Them not enough cash, broke where you have, where you know about.
It's too early for that.
You want the good all. Then you put enough 99. Girl, go to club, girl, right. Nice.
Who's the one friend can drink all the alcohol no matter what?
Put a bottle and spoon and a cup in my hand and a winding up on me man.
Dream.
Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meats served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Attention members, now is your chance to double or even triple your dividend payment with no increase in your existing loan payment. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to boost your dividends effectively. Whether you're planning a vacation or simply looking to maximize your savings, we've got you covered. Call us today at 639-8226 or 631-1336. Message us on Facebook for more information. Hurry, this offer won't last long. Bethel Credit Union, because we see you at BCU.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am Chanel Felix, and this morning as we continue our conversations, we're talking about crime and the economy. Now, crime has been a buzzing topic in Tobago for the last 2 to 3 months. Every week we have been, harping on this crime situation as we've seen an upsurge in crime here on the island of Tobago. But there is a connection between the performance of the economy and crime. But in what way can we look at that? This morning we're having that conversation with financial analyst David Walker. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you. Happy to be back with you again, and a most interesting topic. Let me start by confessing that I am not a criminologist. I am not an expert in the area of crime and how it's dealt with, but I do have a good insight into the kinds of things we should be doing if we want to put the impact of crime on the economy into focus and how we should go about dealing with the inevitably, sad as it is, of escalating crime.
Right. And many theorists have theorized that there is a correlation between, poor economic circumstances like unemployment and other issues and crime. Tell us a bit more about that.
Well, I think most people, while we would, I suspect, all disagree with persons choosing a life of crime, choosing to engage in a criminal activity, be it robbing an individual or a shop or whatever, we do recognize, most of us, that there are things that drive people to make decisions that they might not otherwise have made. And principal amongst those would be simple things like putting food on the table. If you are unable, and I would like people to try to put themselves into this situation, if you are unable on a morning to provide a plate of food to your young children, to your family, are you more or less likely to be persuaded to do something that most people would consider to be wrong and in fact to be criminal? It is almost common sense, you might say, that that person would be more inclined. That person might start with the same moral view as everybody else. But given the need, the dire need to deal with the situation that confronts them on a daily basis, then they are more likely to fall into those kinds of habits. And one of the things that a lot of the criminologists say is that if we could avoid persons getting onto that first rung of the ladder of criminal activity, we go a long way towards dealing with the crime situation. Then, of course, there are the people for whom crime is almost a way of life. They have come to accept this. And when I say that, I'm very clear in my mind that I am not referring only to the folks who pick up a gun or a cutlass or whatever and go and rob people. I am also referring to the people in authority who pick up a pen or a computer and use that to rob us and to rob the state. To my mind, I feel even more angry to those people because they do that in order to be able to buy a new car. The folks who do it in order to put food on the table are the ones that we look at and criticize day in and day out, and they deserve their criticism. But I am not satisfied that we pay enough attention to those at the top, the customs officers who allow guns to come in, for example, and so on. Why do we not hear as much condemnation of them? And the reality is, if you take one of those out of the system, it has more impact than taking 50 young people who take up a weapon that was brought in by those people. So I want to see more effort in that direction. And that's just a simple risk analysis that we can all do. We can achieve more if we start to aim at the top. We need to address the situation from the top and then work the way down. That is not to say we should ignore.
And then the United Nations has claimed that, that there's a tendency for crimes such as robbery and homicides to be increased in periods of economic downturn. But can we truly say that what we are seeing in Tobago right now is as a result of any economic downturn? And then there are certain social programs and trainings and opportunities that are out there. So even from the top, what can be done to ensure these young persons that there are other avenues to be taken outside of committing crime?
There is an awful lot of money spent by the government presently, both in Trinidad and Tobago, on programs that are targeted in that direction. I have to conclude, and I suspect most people have concluded as well, that they are grossly ineffective. I feel we need to go back to the drawing board. Let us establish what the budget is that we have to spend on these types of activities. Let us establish what the outcome ought to be, rather than just the knee-jerk kind of programs we have now, which have no, in my view, no clear direction, no clear targets, and certainly aren't evaluated on a year-on-year basis to see whether we have met the objectives that we set out when we decided to spend this money on these particular activities.
Right, and there has always been the argument of education and how education feeds into that overall crime rate. But we see that even in the last budget presentation by this administration, they are focusing predominantly on human capital development. Can you see that in the long term possibly helping to be a deterrent to crime or to, decrease the levels of criminality that we could see on the island of Tobago?
I certainly believe that a more productive education sector can go a long way towards reducing crime. I am not convinced that we have a clear plan in mind. I'm deeply concerned that in a lot of areas, crime being one, education being another, even sport falling into that category, that we plan in the very short term. We look at what we're going to do this year, and if we're lucky, next year. When we're talking, let me give a concrete example. We have a new football regime in place now, and they are talking about qualifying for 2026 World Cup. I believe that kind of short-term thinking is doomed to fail. We need to put plans in place that would take youngsters virtually at the earliest possible stage and start working with them, both in sport and, as we're discussing now, with the criminal situation, with educating them properly and so on. We have to start planning for 5 to 10 years ahead. I know we did it in the past. We had what was called at the time the 2020 vision and so on. The principle was exactly what I would recommend, and we need to get back to that, but to implement it properly, to monitor it, and to report on it to the citizens of the country.
All right, excellent. And we're going to take a quick break right here, and we're going to come back right after this. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion starts.
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. It's time to refine.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. And on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
pretty girls down there, down in Tobago.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. This morning we continue our conversation on the economy and how economic factors may be influencing crime on the island. Now, Mr. Walker, welcome back to our discussion.
Thank you.
Right. Persons are making the argument, or have been making the argument, that the fact that many contractors have not been paid and have a long list of outstanding debts from the THA has contributed to the increase in crime on the island of Tobago. Do you think it's safe to make an assessment like that?
I suppose I could break that down into two sections. Firstly, although we haven't been given information directly, I think it's widely accepted that the THA has failed to pay on time to an awful lot of contractors. Full disclosure here, THA owes me personally money that's been granted by the court, and even that hasn't been paid. So that I can understand and certainly believe that there are a lot of contractors and their employees who are suffering financially as a result of that. And that is easily a subject for a whole discussion by itself as to why the THA has found itself in this situation and what they need to do to get out of it. And frankly, I'm not seeing them doing the things that are necessary to get out of that situation. So I expect it to continue for the foreseeable future. Once we realize that that is the current state of affairs with the THA's finances, and given what we said earlier about people turning to criminal activities once they find themselves in their dire financial straits, then it is not surprising that that is a major contributory factor to the level of crime that we're seeing. But we know that also the level of crime that we're seeing, and it applies to Trinidad as well, is what appears to most of us to be inadequate controls to stop the crime from happening and from facilitating the crime. And we know what the big ones are. For example, the freedom to board the ferries with a vehicle with virtually no inspection. I travel on the ferry regularly. I love the ferry more than the plane. And I am always amazed that I simply have to open my trunk. Somebody looks at what's in the trunk without opening anything and then sends me onto the boat. It is wide open for the ability to take the tools of the trade of the criminals across the seas. So there are a few issues that need to be addressed.
Right. And so when it comes to that argument of contractors not being paid, in terms of there being a correlation, it's difficult to assess whether or not there is a direct correlation with that.
Well, I am of the view that there is a correlation because it feeds into what we discussed earlier, and I think what most people agree on, and that is when people are put in difficult financial circumstances and they feel they have no choice in order to meet their basic needs, the temptation is so much greater that inevitably some will succumb to the temptation. So yes, I do believe that there is a correlation and responsibility has to be placed in the right quarters for that.
All right, excellent. And we saw recently that there has been a proposal for an adjustment on the coat of arms. The Prime Minister indicated during that PNM special convention over the weekend that there are plans afoot to replace the Columbus's ships with the steel pan. Tell us about what do you think about this on a whole, and what type of economic impact you think this can possibly have, if any?
I don't see any significant economic impact, as if to say perhaps more people coming to the island, more people being aware of the islands than before. At a personal level, I certainly am in favor of the steel band being recognized as the national instrument in as many ways as possible. As a financial analyst, one of the first things I would want to know is what is going to be the cost and what is going to be the impact going down the years, because this is not an overnight thing, and there will be a significant cost to it. And it feeds into the way we go about making decisions at government level that leaves me very unhappy. It is that almost every decision is presented as a binary choice. You either agree with it or you don't agree with it. We, the people, aren't given the opportunity to look at all the nuances, the good, the bad. Let us discuss it. How much is this going to cost? What are the impacts on this? How many things will have to change as a consequence? Is it just the coat of arms, or is it on other things? Is it going to be all our currency? What else? I feel that we should be given that information if those in authority want us to be supportive of it. And I say this in several other contexts, and a lot of people will know that I have criticized some of the big capital spending decisions on the same basis. Give us the facts. Let us decide. Even if we disagree, let us understand what is going on, so that, as we had with the Sandals, now we're having with the Marriott and so on, give us the facts. So give us the facts with the change to the coat of arms and all the impacts it will have, so that we will understand. And also importantly, when the impacts do occur, we aren't taken by surprise and people don't get upset and say, but you could have told us. So a bit more information, please.
All right, excellent. And so when it comes to that coat of arms change, you said you do support, the move towards making that the national instrument and everything that comes with that. But what other type of impact can you see coming from that, whether it be from an educational standpoint or just from an international perspective?
You see, this is where we need more information. Has it been thought through at government level that we also need perhaps an awareness campaign? So should we be talking about this at school level, from primary school all the way through, so that everybody understands what is being done, understands the motive behind it and what we hope to achieve, so that they could participate, we can all participate, rather than just looking on and hoping that it all goes well, because we don't know how we could contribute to making this better. In principle, I am in support of it, but I wish I knew more. I wish I knew how I personally could contribute and how other people who want to get on board could get on board to make it a success.
Right. And you're recommending a lot more public consultation on the matter and on other similar matters. Have you been paying attention? Right. Have you been paying attention to
positive way? Tell us what you want. Tell us what you as a decision maker need from us to help to make it a success. Don't just tell us this is what it is, you got to accept it. That you probably have something that most people would be willing to sign up for if only we could be told a bit more about what it is.
Okay. And we're shifting gears a bit to what's happening on the financial and economic front here at the THA level, specifically as it relates to crime. Now, we've heard the announcement by the Chief Secretary a couple of weeks ago that there are plans in the making to have that Tobago police service. Do you think at this time, with everything that's happened economically, that Tobago has what it takes to focus those limited resources on investing in security for the island by means of that Tobago police?
I certainly would like to see the Tobago police service having an enhanced role in addressing the uptick in crime on the island. My biggest concern, as I alluded to earlier is the ability for guns to flow from Trinidad to Tobago. Now, I don't have access to the information that the police have, so I don't know whether guns are arriving directly into Tobago, maybe by fishing boats or whatever, or whether the weapons are coming from Trinidad on the ferry or by other means. They will have that information, so they will know what is best. And that is where I feel it is very, very important, critical even, that anything that we do in Tobago is coordinated with Trinidad. Because my personal view and the view of most people I speak to is that a lot of it is originating from Trinidad, sometimes via Tobagonians or sometimes via Trinidadians. But if we don't address the linkages between Trinidad and Tobago from a crime standpoint, I think we're doomed to fail. I don't think it's something that we can solve on our own or even control on our own.
But when crime, being one of those areas that fall under national security and is the responsibility of the central government, is now having to, be carried, the financial burden for that is being carried by the THA, isn't that taking away from other development investments that can be done by the THA to help really, push development on the island of Tobago?
Well, this is one aspect of our much bigger problem that I would like to discuss in more detail at some time in the future, which is the allocation of resources and the decisions that are being made as to whether we spend on A, B, or C, and what the impacts are. What is the value that we derive from each of those investments? So I would like to see a situation where even where we invest in crime fighting, whichever methodology we choose, that we get some metrics. What's this going to cost? What is going to be deprived of money as a result? What are the returns we expect from investment? Nationally, we have this tendency to value investments by ribbon cutting and seeing a building. We need to move on at a national level, and I would love it if Tobago would take a lead. We don't always have to follow Trinidad. Take a lead. Whenever we come forward with capital investment, in this case with crime fighting, we analyze it, we inform the population as to what it is going to achieve, and we can see that there is going to be a commensurate benefit to us in terms of reduced crime if we spend this amount of money in this direction as opposed to in this other direction. And that's where your criminologists and your specialists come in. They can analyze and give you the projections as to what are the likely benefits of different courses of action and the cost of those courses of action. So I would like to see more of that rather than just bland announcements that don't give us the how or what and the when.
Right. Well, I think that's really important when the whole discussion about crime and, just economic development happens. But we're seeing that Tobago has moved into what we can deem somewhat a state of desperation when it comes to fighting and targeting crime and criminality on the island. Just a few weeks ago, we heard the Chief Secretary making a suggestion that investments be made in, maybe leasing those pirogues to assist the Coast Guard with that fight on the water because Tobago has such limited resources. When it comes to being able to provide those resources that are needed for Tobago to fight crime, this is the responsibility of national security. But when we're not seeing the type of investment and strategic placements that are needed to fight crime, what is the THA really left to do when it comes to allocating resources within the remit of its power to fight crime?
I have no objection whatsoever. In fact, I applaud efforts on our part in Tobago to augment what is done by central government. I am not convinced that we know the sources of our rapid increase in criminality over the last couple of years. That for me is the foundation of anything that we do. So if somebody said to me now, okay, let's go and spend $5 million on pirogues to help the Coast Guard, are we convinced that that is the correct way to go and that it will achieve the desired results? I am seeing a whole layer of the solution being ignored. As I say, I applaud the Chief Secretary for being prepared to step forward and do what he thinks is necessary. But I will repeat ad infinitum. We do not yet know what is necessary and what will work. We're taking pot shots. We're just saying, okay, let's fire a shot here, let's fire a shot there. That is not the answer. We need more analysis. We need the expertise. I am not an expert in criminology, except insofar as I have done some consulting work for police services, but nothing nearly deep enough for me to feel that I have real expertise in that area. I understand that in Trinidad and Tobago, we do have expertise. We need to bring that expertise to the front. That's where we need first to spend money. And it's interesting that one of the senior people at the assembly is in fact an expert in the field. I'm speaking here about Mr. Anselm Richards, who is I forget the term, but essentially it's an economist who specializes in criminology. Those are the people that we need, and we don't just need them there. We need to give them the power and the authority to do the work and to come up with the recommendations. They won't make the decisions, but the decision makers must have the output of their efforts. I am frankly concerned that we're just spending money and thinking that if we spend enough, we will somehow solve the problem. I simply do not see it that way.
Right. And going back to a discussion that we had earlier in regards to the correlation between contractors not being paid on time and that, having a connection to increased crime on the island, do you think that it is now, part of the responsibility of the central government to ensure that these payments are given to the THA, or that the type of money that is being requested is given to sufficiently cover the debt that the THA is in, as well as some of the development plans of this administration?
The THA, first of all, has to account for the money that it's got and how it spent it. And the commitments that I was concerned about from day one, given the situation where the regime started off saying that they simply did not have enough money to do the basic things, and most particularly capital expenditure, the decision to undertake significant capital expenditure in those circumstances with no new source of income on the horizon, and simply hoping that we would find it from Trinidad or from, I don't like to say Trinidad, from central government and from international borrowing agencies, to me was foolhardy. It was almost guaranteed to put us into the position that we're in now. So we have to find novel ways in order to get out of the situation. And one novel way that we must absolutely avoid is to dig deeper, which is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing talk about raising loans on markets, both national and international, in order to cover, first of all, the debts that have already been incurred and new debts for new projects that are supposedly in the pipeline. We need radical solutions, I'm afraid I have to say. We have to look at the structure of the Tobago economy. We have to look seriously at the number of people employed either directly or indirectly by the THA. Then we have to figure out how a larger proportion of the population can be employed outside of that sector. And that's where we need to start a discussion about the diversification effort and the further promotion of tourism and so on, so that they could take up a significant number of the jobs which effectively we are being asked to support from the public purse, when that should not be the case. We should not have 60 to 70% of the working population employed directly or indirectly by the state. A move to reduce that by, say, 20% would free a lot of resource for us to do the other things that we keep on saying that we need to do. So bottom line for me, we need to stop looking outside. We need to look at ourselves. We need to look at what we can do with the resources that we have and the opportunities that Tobago provides us in order to generate more income, so that we don't find ourselves in this perpetual situation where we're complaining that we don't have enough money from central government.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Walker. You're always here to give insights, and we are always here to welcome you. Again, thank you so much for sticking with us this morning. Thank you so much for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and for continuing to engage in this discussion in relation to crime. This is where we have to end off this morning. Unfortunately, our time here has expired. Now you can follow me on social media, any social media platform, whether it be Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, at Chanel Felix, as you follow my journey and everything that's happening behind the scenes. Again, thank you so much for being a part of the discussion here on Tobago Updates, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thank you and have a great day.